What's up, Rack Time? Sorry, it's been a while. We ain't got on here and made a video, but we both, me and Chris, we both been pretty busy with work, and we've been trying to get ready for deer season, obviously. But I figured I would get on here and shout at you guys and let you guys know what's been going on. So obviously, we're still grinding. We're trying to get all these food plots done, and we're trying to get our deer stands ready for the season. So a few weeks ago, me and Brewer actually came up here, and we done this stand here that I'm at today. This is this is a little holler up behind my grandma's house, and I've been hunting here since I've been 14-year-old. Right up here on the side end of the mountain, I got my first bow kill. I think I was 16 or 17 then, but I got my first bow kill up here. Bow hunting wasn't really that popular, whenever I was a kid growing up. I used to watch my dad and them every winter. The week of November, he would get ready, and he'd be packing his stuff up as we got off on Thanksgiving break. And him, my grandpa, my uncles, they would all go on a big trip up north to Randolph County. And man, I always wanted to go. That definitely inspired me a lot to want to deer hunt. But whenever I finally got to go up there and see what it's all about, it's tough up that way, man. It's big mountains. Their mountains are twice the size that ours are here. It's cold. I remember this one season I was sitting on a rock cliff up in the head of a place called Becky's Creek on the other side of Cheat Mountain, and my coveralls actually got froze to the rock. So sorry for coughing, man. This weather's got me acting up, but I got froze to a rock. It's cold up that way, folks. But we got this stand here going. I'll show you guys around. So here's the feeder that we hung. We got it. I'd say we've got a good 12, 14 foot clearance, from the bottom to the ground. So I've ended up clearing out a lot of trees up this way. I built that platform yesterday. It's 8 foot tall. I went and got the lumber for it. I actually had yesterday off, but I got the lumber for it, and just went up there and got my big cat blind and set it. I think it blind's like a 7 foot by 7 foot, 7 foot high, but it's real nice, real roomy. I can fit me and all my kids in there. But yeah, man, I mean, we've got everything going here. I've got the feeder bear proofed. I added another pulley to this. I put another pulley right there, but I had a pulley up there already. I just built this out of some 2x4s there. I do a lot of construction work, so I got to do a lot of scraps. But it is lagged. I've got 3 6-inch lag bolts on the bottom end of this thing. I don't figure it's going anywhere. That feeder there, it's a mall tree feeder. It's got it's collapsible. I think it holds somewhere right around 40 pounds. But I had some corn go bad on some of my crops, and you see I just peeled them back and just brought them up here, just throw them, try to feed them. There's nothing big up here. There is deer up here, a lot of deer activity. This is usually a late season. But here is a tree that fell. This used to be a triple poplar, and there was another one that fell down right above it. And see, right there's another one. Right yonder is another one. And man, I just cut it. I rode all these rotted logs over there, but I kept a little bit right here to make a mineral site. We started one up there, and just worked our way down, but them deer's loving it. This is the all new P&R Whitetail Supreme supplemental block. This is the Apple Bliss flavor here. But man, I'm gonna take you guys up here and we're gonna check this we're gonna check this out. I mean, it don't look like it's very high off the ground or whatever here, but I mean, we're at creek level. You know, I got my water source right here. See, that's where I used to hunt over there, and I came to realize I used to walk up this creek right here, and used to go right up this trail and get on. I used to have tree stand on that tree. It's bent sideways, but I have came to realize that the deer are coming off this mountain. It's real brushy up in there. They're hanging out up in there. You see the sunballs on it, and you see it's real dark on this side. So they're coming right there. Sometimes they'll swing around and they'll come down this way, or they'll swing around and come down that way. And very seldomly do I get them come off this side. So my trail in here is actually right there. This is the trail that comes up in here. On the back side of this trail is, this is just like a big knob. I'm probably gonna clear some trees off here and try to do a food plot. But on the back side of this trail, see, it's up there a little bit, is the entrance to the other trail. It just circles around right here to get to this feeder. But I believe I'm gonna walk up this way, man. I know these deer, they'll circle around to try to scent check you. See, there's the trail in. And up there's the feeder, and here's the stand. I kind of made me a little chicken ladder. It ain't much. Some of y'all are probably gonna laugh, but you know, it'll work. I do construction work. As you see, I took some of these joist hangers and flipped them upside down. Got a good seal to this. I put it on 2-foot centers, and it is level all the way around. It's a little steep. I gapped my steps a little bit higher, so the bear or anything won't get up here. I still got to bring the seat. Yeah, man. Here's my uphill view, right across that creek view. There's a shooting hole. It's a view to the top up that way. There's the feeder. I'd say that feeder's about, I want to say about 30-35 yards. And I open up a little bit, put me a small peephole, because they'll come around that trail and it gives me a good view to that hill. But if you notice, I have the rest sealed off. Besides the door, that's the door. But I have it sealed off, and there's a reason for that. A few years ago, Joey, my stepdad, told me, I was hunting in my blind, and he told me, he said, you got your blind too open. You know, we rifle hunt like that, but you got to realize, when we rifle hunt, man, I mean, we're in long distance. We got easily 100 to 200 yard shot. He said, your blind's too open. He said, seal up the back and just barely fold you down a window on the front. So that's what I done. And I mean, I've had great success since then. I'd like to get me an ozonics put in here and try to cover a scent a little bit, but my little boy, this is actually their deer stand. I've hunted this for many years right here in the head end of this holler, and this is hard. There's a lot of thermal energy up in this holler, so you got to watch how you come up in here. But me and my boys, they actually came up here with me. Brewer did, to hang that feeder up down there, and he told me, he said, Dad, said let's build a shooting house like Chris Sparks has got. It took a little bit of restraint just to hold off a tear. I said, son, say no more. I said, Daddy has been waiting on you since you have been in your mother's womb to tell me, Daddy, let's build us a hunting blind. But last weekend was a pretty cool weekend. It was pretty eventful. Squirrel season actually came in, youth season for West Virginia. Me and Brewer was over there sitting behind that blind. I can't even see the blind, but we was sitting over there behind the blind. And it was kind of gloomy and dark. And there was a little squirrel that came across there and got on them rotted logs there. And I told Brewer the only thing I had, you know, Brewer's 11-year-old. The only thing I had ammo for was my 12 gauge poke stock. It was a New England, and yeah, that's a little much for an 11-year-old. You know, that's a little much for a full-grown man. Some of them, but he pulled off a good shot. It was about a good 35, 40-yard shot, and he tagged his first squirrel. And when he went and got it, it actually fell down in between the logs there. He picked it up, and it was blonde. It had a red tail, but it had blonde tips, so kind of like it's highlighted. And I told him, you know, he he was asking if we was going to eat it, and I said to get a mess of squirrel, Daddy, make you some squirrel gravy. But I told him I got a hold of my buddy, our Nick Bishop with Bishop's Taxidermy. He does a real good job, and I got a hold of him, and I said, you want to mount my boy's first squirrel? And he said, bring it on over. And I took Brewer over there. He got to pick his mount out, what he wanted. But folks, that's what it's all about. It's not always about tagging something ginormous, you know, or, I mean, it's nice, but it ain't. And especially not to me, you know, it's about my kids, and my babies is my world. And I definitely want them to grow up in this environment, to have like knowledge about the outdoors. You never know, folks. I mean, some things went real bad this week. You know, I pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. That was as horrific event, and you know, he was a man of God, and I'm sure that he is with God now. But you know, it's all about family traditions with me. I'm very big into the PNR. You know, it's all we feed and stuff, and the PNR whitetail. It's man, it don't get no better. It's good for the deer. It's excellent supplemental feed and stuff. I mean, it don't get no better. But really and truthfully, whenever it boils down to it all, it's about family tradition. You know, you never know when if the grocery stores is just going to shut down or the stock market crash. It's this crazy time, folks. But one thing about it, my babies will be raised up to know how to not only hunt and kill their food, but to grow their food. They help me in the garden a pretty good lot. I put out a garden every year, and they'll also know how to cook it and preserve it, can it. But they'll know how to smoke it, and they'll know, you know, how to do all these things. And that's what I want for my kids. I'm sure that most of you guys can agree with that. But I guess that's enough gabbing for now. I got to go down and help Chris. We got to mow top food plot here locally, and we're going to try to get up there and take some weed eaters, cut around the edge and stuff, and try to get that going. We went and raised the feeder up like 15 foot more the other day, so it doesn't spook the big bucks. So, you know, that helps. And boys, we got about 2 weeks. You guys just hang on in there. But I guess I'll get up with you guys later. I can't tell you when we're going to do another video. It'll probably be this weekend. Could be next weekend. But I do know we got a humongous announcement coming up, and we've got quite a few people involved in it. So you guys might want to tune on in on that one. But anyway, till next time, track time.